Bet you didn't expect to see me back so soon, huh? Oh, who am I kidding? I don't think anybody really cares. So just before you guys ask, no, this isn't gonna start the new series of videos. I haven't finished those yet as of this recording. This is actually just a follow-up to the Sonic R video that I did a little bit ago, which you can watch by clicking up here. If you haven't watched that, please feel free to watch that, as I will give much more context as to what we're talking about today in this video. This is actually the first time I've actually really tried anything like this, so if you guys like it, please feel free to tell me what you want me to make a video on in this style, like covering it on new information or something, and I'll see what I can do. Hello and welcome to Gaming History 101. My name is Sasha and I'll be your host today. If you didn't read the description or the title of this video, this is going to be a follow-up to the Sonic R episode that I did a little bit ago, because the developer, Jon Burton, has released video of 3 earlier prototypes that none of us knew existed, so that's what I'm going to be covering in this video. So without any further ado, let's get right into that and talk about the prototypes that were never known about Sonic R, version 01, 2, and 3. Let's go. So about 3 or 4 weeks after I uploaded my Sonic R video, a video popped up detailing an earlier build of Sonic R that was dated before the E397 build, and if I remember correctly, which I do, the E397 build was the first time that Sonic R was shown off to the world. The video came from the channel GameHut, which is run by Jon Burton, who was one of the developers that worked on Sonic R. As Jon stated in the video description, this is footage of the very first playable prototype of Sonic R ever produced. Footage was captured using an emulator and the original and only copy of the code and data. In this original build, it's fairly obvious that this was an early version of Sonic R, and the only stage shown off here is an extremely bare-bones version of Resort Island. One of the immediate differences seen is that the Sonic character model has no animation at all, it's just stuck on one frame. But it does have a pickup effect, so that's cool. It does have no shadow though, so no edginess here. The waterfall also has animation on it, so it's good to see that they have their priorities straight when it comes to programming. The camera has no collision properties, and speaking of collision, there are holes in the terrain map. The next difference immediately noticeable is that the bridge that you see in the level has a different texture. The loop at the end of the stage is incredibly broken too, as it just keeps you going forward through the terrain of the loop, as opposed to actually going around and finishing the loop. There's also a rain counter as well as a timer at the top left and right corners respectively. The fence at the edge of the stage is still there and it's huge, though it has strange collision detection that stops you in your tracks, kind of like a wall. The next thing we see is an AI Sonic that runs around the track. The AI Sonic also clips through the terrain, so with this we see that there isn't just some sort of no-clip cheat turned on from the player's side. The next thing we see is a very basic secret path, and once we pass that, we see that there is no collision detection within the water, so you can just literally walk on the water as if it's any other floor. Then there's a ring gate secret path that we see, but without the actual ring gate. The video then stops to describe the control scheme of the prototype. The A button is to accelerate, B is to brake, R is to jump, and D-pad is to turn. Also, Y is to raise the camera, and X is to lower the camera. Next, the video shows us the area under the waterfall where we see that the Sonic coin is missing. Then the video goes past what is polygons and what is the actual floor, and shows us that after a certain point is passed, the floor repeats itself, but the actual terrain pertaining to the floor is gone. Looking up, the skybox is also glitchy, and as we see here, where the mountains don't match up with the rest of the background, it just kind of glitches out. And while we're on the subject of the skybox, this skybox is completely different than the one seen in the final game, and as far as I'm aware, doesn't appear in any version of Sonic R, unless I'm mistaken. Please comment if I am. Next, we count out the AI characters, of which there are 2 or 3. It doesn't seem like they have any collision or any intelligence, really, so to speak, because they all seem to follow a set path and don't try to avoid you if you stand in their way. So this was an amazing discovery, and is probably realistically why my Sonic R video blew up in the first place. If you actually look at my most viewed videos at the moment, it's probably, I think, at number 2 or 3 of like 100 something, so that's pretty impressive. This was huge news, and I'm pretty sure the Sonic community would have been content if that's all that was found, but to everyone's surprise, just 2 weeks later, on September 15th, Jon uploaded another video, this time detailing Sonic R version 0.2, and this one was dated even earlier than version 3. This is even earlier than the last build. This is very obviously an early build, as the Sonic that you play as doesn't even have free movement, as we saw with the AI characters in the last build. He moves on rails, though you can move him forwards and backwards. The difference in the background is immediately noticeable, as it doesn't even look like it's from this game, and you'd be right in thinking that. The background was a placeholder, and it actually originated from Mickey Mania, which was another Traveler's Tales title, released on the Genesis in 1994. The background was from the Moose Hunters level. The next thing you might have noticed was that the Sonic model is flickering for some reason, though our developer friend does not know why. The rocks at the beginning of the stage are also textured differently, and speaking of textures, several parts of the terrain are just untextured to begin with. The loop here works though, which is interesting. Maybe the change in movement broke the terrain? I don't know. The most immediate difference you see about this version is the Metal Sonic that pops out of nowhere. This kinda reminds me of Metal Mario from Super Smash Bros. On the N64. According to Jon Burton, this was a test of having environment map characters, but in the final game, none of the 10 racers have this effect applied to them. This was instead used for logos, trophies, and other things. The video later goes on to say that the Saturn hardware was just flat out unusable to create these kinds of effects, and what we were seeing is technically impossible to achieve on the Saturn. They actually achieved this effect by running a software render engine running on the slave processor, then copying the textures to a single polygon. Probably the last thing to note is that the waterfall wasn't animated yet, and it has a different texture here. Just when people thought it couldn't get any earlier, about a week and a half later on September 28th, Jon uploaded a video saying that he had the source code for an earlier version of Sonic R, one that he called 0.1. In the video, he detailed how he actually went through all the steps and compiled an ISO or some bootable file in Yabayuse, the emulator, using DOSBox. And he had a bunch of the programs that he needed to actually do it, so he did it, and he said that there was no easy way to actually play the game. He went through a bunch of loopholes so that he could actually see what it is. I'm not going to talk about everything that he did, but if you're interested in watching, I'll have a link in the description to every single video that he's uploaded about Sonic R. So yeah, if you're interested, go check that out. Then, 5 days after he released that video, he released another video actually showing off the build of Sonic R that he was talking about in that last video. He prefaced the video saying that nothing earlier exists, and this is the definitive earliest version of Sonic R. The next thing we see of the 0.1 version of Sonic R is the map, and holy crap, I guess Sonic is running in the void, because it looks so different from the final version. There's no skybox, it's literally just black. But one similarity between 0.1 and 0.2 is that the controls are simple, one button to go forward and one to go back. You're also on rails similar to 0.2. The map itself looks like a mix of Radiant Emerald and Radical City, though I don't think either of these levels are represented or inspired by this demo level. Those bars on the side were used to show code timings, and these floating squares are supposed to be rings, and they're just using these as placeholders. I just wanted to make a quick video talking about the new versions of Sonic R that were recently discovered and released. Could it be possible that Jon Burton could release the source code for us to play with? Well, probably not, realistically, but it'd be cool if he could. Who knows, maybe we'll be able to make similar games out of those prototypes, or something else entirely. Maybe K's Emanuar will make a Super Mario R. He'll hack the stages of Sonic R in Super Mario 64. The possibilities are endless. As stated before, all videos and things I used in this video are property of Jon Burton unless otherwise stated, and the original links will be down in the description below. Ha, you thought that was it for Sonic R? Nah, just kidding. I had to throw this in the end of the video really quick just because this came out like at the time of this recording literally yesterday, and I was gonna upload the video the coming Friday, but now I have to throw this in there, so yeah. Jon Burton uploaded yet another Sonic R video on November 27th, 2017, where he details an earlier version of Sonic R that didn't even have Sonic characters. In fact, at first it was going to be an F1 racing game, and he actually found 4 of the car models that he had backed up from that original version of the game. In the video, he detailed how he went through trying to look at the models because he didn't have anything to look at it, so he had to write his own software, and like he messed with all the lighting details in a hex editor and all the model details, and it was pretty interesting, so go check that out if you want. Now back to your regularly scheduled Gaming History 101 episode. If you like this video, be sure to click up here in the cards to see the last 2 videos I uploaded on this channel, as well as my social media links, which will be in text up there. Don't forget to tweet at me and comment on my Instagram to tell me what you'd like me to make a video on, because if I like the idea, I'll do it, and if I don't, well, if the internet wills it, it must be done. Also, don't forget to click that subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified every single time I upload a video, but if you don't, well then, I guess it's my loss. But, if this is where we part for today, this has been Gaming History 101. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.